maandamano haya yalikuwa ni ya amani, ilikuwa hatulengi mtu, lakini vijana wana uchungu sana kuhakikisha kwamba wale wabunge wao Kwale wamewasaliti na kuvoti yes.
Faisal ametusaliti, hatukutaka tufanye hivyo na tumekataa finance bill.
Manake hakusikiza wananchi.
Hawataki warudi nyumbani.
Faisal ameamua kutuambia kuwa ameridhika na muhula mmoja. He is a one-term MP because he voted yes.
We are going to try that new provision of the law on recalling members of parliament who do not follow what the public is saying, the people who elected them are saying, and what their political parties are saying.
I'm really shocked that a communication is done on removal of my position, a position that was negotiated by my party.
They have been thinking that they're very clever. Every time political parties like ODM institute legal proceedings or disciplinary proceedings, they run to court and obtain court orders. There are members of the National Assembly who are surviving here by virtue of court orders.
Kwa kimataifa, finance bill ikishindwa ama ikiangusha, the net effect kusema ukweli ni kwamba serikali imeng'olewa mamlakani. It is equal to a vote of no confidence in a government.
Kutopitisha finance bill ni kusema serikali ya Kenya isite na ikome kufanya kazi.
Wana Kiambu, tulisema yes, ndio fertilizer iendelee kupatiwa wakulima. Tulisema yes, ndio sanitary towel na pads bei shuke.
Kitu ya kwanza ni kuhakikisha vitu hazitaletwa kutoka ng'ambo, ziletwe katika nchi yetu ili wanyanyase wanaotengenezea bidhaa katika nchi yetu wakose biashara na wengine waendelee kuendelea.
Sasa mimi nikiwa kichwa mzuri, mlikuwa mnataka nikatae barabara ya mali kwenda Ukia isiyoka lami? Hapana, nielezeni tu. Ama niende niseme isiyoka lami? Mnataka lami ama mtake lami?
Hii mambo ya taxation sio jambo tunafinya wananchi wakati hapa chini peke yake. Inaharibu uchumi, kazi zetu zote zimeenda. Na mimi huwa naambia watu wetu, viongozi wenzangu, wakati umechaguliwa na watu, tafuta nafasi uende ona watu yako wanakaa namna gani.
Want you who make bad laws like Bwana Didmas na muumize wajane, muumize wa maskini na muumize wajane.
We call for a complete overhaul of the Finance Bill 2024 so that it inspires hope and empowers greater productivity and the dignity of life for the people of Kenya.
Serikali ione kama inaweza kulegeza hiyo ili hata kama itakuja, lakini ije kwa pole pole ili yule ambaye analipa hii kodi aweze kusikia, sio kama mzigo ambao hauwezekani kuchukuliwa kabisa.
Kama hawa waandamanaji, ikiwa ni Generation Z, ikiwa ni waandamanaji wahalifu waliharibu mali, wangekutana na the force of the police. Kama wao waandamanaji wangefanya maandamano bila kuharibu mali yoyote.
I am a photo expert, Mr. Speaker, and I can point out to you photos that were edited to look like they were in the...
Nonsense.
Kama ni ng'ombe tulipiga wazi wazi, na ikija tena Jumanne nitapiga tena yes.
Our young people have stepped forward to engage on the affairs of their country. They have done a democratic duty to stand and be recognized. And I want to tell you, we are going to have a conversation with you.
Let us not underestimate the youths. Nobody. They mobilize each other using bundles. And as government, let us learn one thing. That the youths have just discovered yesterday that there is power in the bundles and WhatsApp. So let us be very careful as we take leadership of this country.
Kenya in a compromise of 85% Christian. 85%. If 85% of those voices actually rise up and say that the injustices, and this is the same injustices, needs to be spoken up. For
the sake of justice, we've decided as young people who know the truth, who know Jesus, that we're going to make it seem that the church won't be silent. We won't join part of the silence.
I've apologized where you feel as a church we have let you down. The church has not been quiet. I was corrected when I also said that. Then I say we are communicating in the wrong forums. If you are not being heard and you are speaking, then that means you're communicating in the wrong forums. But the church is speaking, the church is...
She just died for not being corrupt. Because I'm sure people tried talking to her, but she stood with the right thing. That is why she died. And you know, the judiciary, I'm telling you, don't give the devil space.
And all of us who work in the judiciary are mortal. And we don't pretend that we are not going to die. We know that we are going to die. I asked on Tuesday and I ask again, will you people stop killing us? Just stop killing us. And stop killing us either at our place of work.
The Kenyan judiciary does not need tokenism. Please. They just have to get what they have to get to make this country better.
And also killing our youth senselessly is bad. This young man, the mother is from Machakos, the father is from Gem. The boy was just running. He was shot from the back. Are you supposed to shoot somebody who is facing you and running away from you? Si hata wangepiga risasi mahali ingine ndio mtu asikufe. Please let us not joke around with these young people.
It is not possible for you to take 2 hours from Upper Hill to here. And this is the frustration that we face as Kenyans. All this family wants is to be able to find out what killed Rex and then move him to a place that they feel is more deserving for him. All the people, everybody else is here. I have spoken to IPOA, the IPOA team is already here. The family pathologists are here. The government pathologist, Johnson Dodor, has been here since 9. It is very unfair what is happening in our country, and we want to condemn the police.
Not a single property was destroyed. No one was, injured. Yet, we are seeing death caused by a bullet. As human rights activists in the country, we stand in solidarity with the youth of this country, and in this particular case with the family, we send our condolences and demand that justice must be done.
Of what is happening, of course, on the ground right now as far as protest is concerned. This is also what is happening. We have this hashtag that is continuing, Free Gabriel Oguda, who has been, of course, is missing right now, abducted in light of what is ongoing. Some of the people who have been agitating for change as well. I can see some of the tweets here. Government, this is by Ferdinand Omondi, says that government that wants to engage its citizens cannot be the same government abducting citizens freely, expressing their thoughts. The government that wants to lift its people cannot be the same one that wants to paralyze them with over-taxation. And this is what is happening right now as far as the Twitter is concerned, or X, I should say. And that is the call right now. I mean, among many who are being abducted, this is also a rallying call to the security officers of this country, or the security heads of this country, that they should not be abducting some of the opinion makers here in the country. Gabriel Oguda is also columnist with the Saturday Nation. All right, Dan Marzo, we were to go through the recalling bit, but still you can see this is ongoing. Maybe you can comment on it as well, both of you. And very interesting comment there by Ferdinand Omondi, a journalist as well with the BBC, who says that, we cannot be asking for an engagement if we're still also going with abductions. And this has been also what was being questioned when we had the particular conversation on X as well. Kipchumba Murkomen was there, and the government spokesperson was Isaac Mahoro as well. And questions were being raised before. We don't tell us anything first. Could you release these people where they are?
I agree with you, Dubal, because I've just heard the comments there that have been made, and you wonder what's the difference where we are today. What is the difference between Kenya as a democratic country, purported democratic country, and what we witnessed while we were in school, Maanzo, when we were in University of Nairobi, looking at the apartheid South Africa? I mean, what is the difference between the conduct we are seeing from our police force and the way we used to see the police in apartheid South Africa behaving? I recall in 1990 when we were at the University of Nairobi, when that movie of Sarafina was played at Taifa Hall, University of Nairobi. We all wanted to pour out the streets, because I saw episodes where police officers were, pulling trigger and unleashing live ammunition on innocent South Africans who were having a cause of fighting to end the apartheid regime in South Africa. What we're having in Kenya now, Debal, is similar to what used to happen in South Africa during apartheid. Because this young boy called Masai, I keep repeating and citing that case. That boy called Masai was killed by a live bullet from a police officer whom to date has not been brought to book to date. What is happening in Kenya, when somebody writes a novel about what is happening in Kenya, it will replicate what used to happen in South Africa. Because you are abducting people whose only crime is that they have come out to protest that the government is choking them with taxes. They are complaining that the government has become the face of impunity. They are complaining that they are seeing a lot of opulence from government, whereas they have no food on the table. They are coming out to complain, Dibal, that their parents, when they sit on the table to do table economics, to give them, scenarios on where money will come from for fees, where money will come from for food, the maths is not adding up, And then instead of addressing the issues being raised by these young people, you are responding by abducting these young people and not giving an account of where they are. So I agree fully with Generation Z that the president, whom I told you, and I think it's good we read the Constitution, the president, who by virtue of Article 240, let me see if I can get it, who by virtue of Article 240, Dibal, is the chair of the National Security Council and has supervisory control over the national security organs, should tell us whether his supervisory role includes watching our young people being abducted by the police. Because when you have supervisory powers, like the powers that have been given to the National Security Council, you should be able to supervise the force and tell them, I've seen there are some abductions that have taken place. That's not the force I want to head. It's the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, And the Constitution talks of security organs as including our defense forces, National Police Service, and the National Intelligence Service, NSIS. So what message has the president released to us as Kenyans in response to the concerns that we have raised as Kenyans on the abductions of these innocent Kenyans who have not broken any law, Dibal? The only thing they have done is to exercise their right under Article 37 of the Constitution. And they are telling us, just like the case of George Floyd, the US, they can't breathe. They are telling us they can't breathe. In case you want to choke them to death, I think the president owes us an answer. He owes us an answer as a nation. What is happening to our youths? Why are our security forces abducting our youths who have not committed any crime? We need those answers. And we need them from none other than the person who chairs the National Security Council. who is none other than the President of the Republic of Kenya. Yeah.
And we hope that, you see, this is a fresh day today, and we were hoping that there won't be any more arrests, but it seems that will be the order of the day. But I just wanted to gravitate a bit, even as we're looking at this question of the IBC. Now that we have the people who know, they know that they are sovereign and the power is within their hands. Why would we not also try and steamroll the whole process in Parliament as far as the IBC is concerned? Because I think there are pieces of legislations which are on the floor of the National Assembly as far as IBC is concerned. Or where are we at? We had the NADCO report, which also is lost in the shuffle. We don't know what is happening to the NADCO report.
No, I think
you are a member of a particular committee.
But are you trying to throw the issue of abduction under the table?
No, I'm not trying to
throw the issue. You be careful, Divine. Be careful, because that issue is so serious. You know what?
It is serious.
It's so serious because...
No, I want us just to continue the conversation because
I'm
looking at...
agree with you. The only point I need to make...
No, before we head there, what I'm trying to put across is we have the issue of recalling.
Yes.
And you'd raise the issue of IBC. We don't have the IBC in place right now. Which part is helping why?
I think what we have already...
That should not
agree.
Yeah.
But just to bring you to speed, we have already passed the IBC amendment bill as Senate. We sent it to the National Assembly. We did some amendments on the bill, so the Constitution requires that those changes should be read to the National Assembly. If they agree with our proposed amendments and they vote on it, then it should be sent to the President for assent and it becomes law. If, on the other hand, they disagree, then you have to invoke mediation under Article 113 of the Constitution. So the bill will go to mediation. It will take longer to enact because the two houses must appoint a team to sit in mediation and then come up with a version that is agreeable to the mediation team. So the ball is now in the court of the National Assembly. If they agree, we can have the law in place as soon as even next week, if they agree. But if they have concerns with the amendments that were proposed by the Senate, then it means the law will go to mediation, and that may take longer. Yeah, so that's where we are.
Well, I have not made comments on abduction. You know, abduction is another way of arrest. And the Constitution under Article 50 talks of rights of an accused person or a person who's been arrested. You know, you have to be put in lawful custody and you cannot be kept incommunicado for more than 24 hours. In fact, as soon as you are arrested, then you must be presented in court within 24 hours, failure of which then habeas corpus order can be sought. Habeas corpus means produce the body, produce the person whether they are dead or alive. So when you abduct people, it's a form of arrest, is really an unlawful act. And in fact, it amounts into unlawful detention. And therefore, even once these people have been released, then they can seek, to be compensated by the state for unlawful arrest, for unlawful detention, and all that. So it's a way of showing that the state is intolerant. Instead of listening to the pleas of the nation, of Generation Z, and Generation Z, as you have said, is the future of this country. They are part of the voters. They are part of the residents of Kenya. The people are saying we are not happy by the way our taxes are being managed. No one has said don't pay taxes. We are saying pay reasonable taxes. At the moment, reasonable taxes are paid, then utilize them properly. You cannot, come up with a finance bill which is giving more money to leisure and more money to things which are not urgent and necessary, like renovating state houses and all that. You're just giving comfort to the executive while, squeezing the blood of the people. And the Generation Z have said, the reason they are being abducted is that they have said, we are not happy about certain things. We are not happy the way our parents are suffering, the way our parents are coming home without salaries, because all the money is, in fact, for most people after the housing projects which were not carefully thought through, and some laws forced through the assembly. Even the land to build the houses is not there. Even the one to give the money to manage the houses has a lot of loopholes. And then at the same time, you increase the cost of fuel further. If you increase the cost of fuel, you have seen what has happened. Kenyans have now decided to work from home. There are less vehicles on the road. Kenyans are carpooling. Kenyans are taking the train. Kenyans are taking the bus. And even children going to school have gone to school bus. And therefore, no fuel is consumed. And I can assure you from statistics, KRA is collecting less and less. So when you have such a wrong government policy, which has been forced through Parliament, whereby Parliament has refused to be responsible, and even with the right of recall, you end up in a government of confusion, just like the Tower of Babel. And then these young people are saying, please, let's have order in our country. And I'm really challenging them, even despite the abductions. And you are abducting doctors, you are abducting journalists, you are abducting an innocent young man who's just airing his voice, and he voted for you. Then what do you do to him? Okay. You cheated him that you, Mr. Asla, we are going to make life very easy for you. You, Mama Boga, you, Boda Boda, this government is for you. As soon as they get into power, people start living very extravagant lives. I can assure you some of these people with a 6 million watch, 17 million watch, their salaries are known. And there's no way that money will come from salaries. So government monies are being looted for luxuries and for people to live in a very, pleasant manner, while the rest of Kenyans, who the money has been extracted from, end up suffering. As I've said earlier, even if the abductions continue, what is going to happen in Parliament? And in fact, the young people are not wrong at all. As I said, the finance bill today, tomorrow, clause by clause. What happens is that amendments have to be brought. And if amendments are to be brought, it is by the leader of majority, who for now has come out publicly, does not believe in them. Then if you bring these amendments, they have to be voted for. Now, considering on how the 40 went, it means then the price of bread is going to remain. That amendment will not be affected. The insurance of vehicles is going to remain. That amendment is not going to be affected. And any other amendment they propose. So what are you saying? So the solution is...
What are you saying? Some of these, the ones they say it has been scrapped?
They have not been scrapped yet. They are still in the bill. They're still in the bill. They have to be scrapped by the House.
For the House today. Yeah, but that's the essence of it today.
So there must be absolute good faith that the leader of majority is the first one to move the amendment. And I'm sure if they move such an amendment, it will be supported even by the minority. So, but how if that motion has not been moved? So Kenyans have been tricked by Kenya Kwanza, by the president and the MPs who are in State House. Unless we see it today on the floor of the House, the leader of majority moving the amendment to drop on bread taxes and on insurance taxes, and there are quite a number which they agree.
The sanitary pads.
Sanitary pads. That has to come to the floor of the House. And unless the people of Kenya put pressure, as they are putting now, this will not happen, and the law will pass. That will become the law. It will be utilized. Therefore, the government has to be honorable. Whatever they say must happen. So please, stop the abductions. Make lawful arrests the way they are supposed to be made. Arrest people, even summon them to the police stations. I'm sure they will take themselves there. They will explain themselves. If you are then arrested or confined or abducted, then you should be produced in a court of law. By now, they should be in court, and we will volunteer to go and defend them as lawyers. So let them, so that they should be released on bail. Even when you have been arrested by police, you have a right to bail. You should pay a cash bail, and the police should be able to trace you. So no one should really be confined in the cells when really the offense they have committed is not cognizable and cannot be. What has Dr. Austin done to be confined or to be arrested? There's no proper reason in law. And even if you are to take him to the court of law, he's going to be released. So it's another way of doing politics by intimidating Kenyans. All right. And I think Parliament should end this today by doing the right thing and by truthfully dropping and making sure these amendments are moved. As it is per now, amendments are proposed a few hours before. Up to now, Honorable Uchungu has not proposed these amendments. So what is the House going to do in this afternoon if there are no proposed amendments up to now?
Okay. I wanted to just know you as Azimio as well. Are you planning in any way to come up with a press conference regarding this, specifically the abductions? We've seen Honorable Sifuna there, but you specifically, as a lawyer now, as a senior counsel, not donning down the senatorial cap.
Well, that's something already, you know, we are only opening today, and we came here 6 a.m.
That is the resumption of Senate.
So
no, I'm saying this is not a senatorial. Is you as legal, senior counsel.
The issue of abductions is not.
That's what I'm saying.
A matter that we can push under the carpet. You know, Dibal, you have been very kind to the country. You give us a forum. We come here, we debate issues. When you see Gabriel Oguda being abducted, some of us who are your friends also fear for you. We have to fear for ourselves. I mean, if you have a government that is employing these kind of tactics, we cannot sit back. We must put this issue on the table. And when we started this show, I told you that the UN has a code of conduct on law enforcement officers, okay? And Article 5 of that code bars police officers from doing the things they are doing here in Kenya. You know, this is mental torture. This is subjecting people you have arrested into inhuman, degrading treatment by holding them in comunicando. Nobody knows where they are. You are not giving them access to the police. You put a clip there, a statement by none other than the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya. And what was she telling the country? A non-Kenyan in UK is watching a DCJ, Deputy Chief Justice of a country, pleading. She was pleading with the government of the day not to kill judicial officers. He was saying, don't kill us. If we make our rulings, we disagree with the state, don't kill us. Dibal, you have seen what is happening in the judiciary now. The judiciary was the last point of call for Kenyans on issues of oppressive laws, issues that were having drawback on our constitution 2010. But everything that is happening, including, though it's not politically related, the killing of Magistrate Kivuti, has made the judicial officers also to sit back and saying, hey, these guys could be coming for us. Yeah? You know, cases that used to take very short time before are now taking forever. The housing levy case has been in court. No interim orders have been given to date because of the threats, the culture, environment of threat, intimidation that is happening around all of us. And I'm not seeing anybody who has come out strongly to be on the side of Kenyans and demonstrate to us that the threat of Kenya, the threat and freedom of Kenyans is under threat from no other than from the government itself. Dibal, there is no way you will convince me, even if this is the last statement I'll make on earth, there is no way you will convince me that these abductions don't have a link with the government machinery. Nobody has got the ability to abduct a Kenyan, keep you out of circulation for all this time if that person is not within the security system. So, the Mahanzo, as we resume the House this afternoon, this issue must feature. We must talk about it on the floor of the House. We must seek for answers. We must summon the Inspector General of the Police to appear before us and tell us, where are these Kenyans? That's why we are elected. That's why we are the people's representatives. So other than issuing a press release, these matters must be brought to the floor of the House. We raise them and we seek answers. If we don't speak for our children, Dibal, we'll speak for them. Nobody. So this afternoon, I hope the Speaker will give us the atmosphere on the floor of the House to ventilate and talk on behalf of our children.
But you've not seen the order paper, so...
It's not about order paper. These are not times of invoking standing orders. These are extraordinary times.
These are extraordinary times.
Extraordinary times. And the House to discuss a matter of national importance, like what's happening, Dibal. We don't want to speak only when you are abducted. If Ogood has been abducted, it's like me or you or Mahanzo.
What stops Mahanzo from being abducted?
Yes.
What stops
we must talk about this
thing. Tomorrow there's no show.
You are the one also who had, what do we call it? You remember that one you were taken from, you were fearing also that you'll be arrested as well. You could come during your demonstrations.
Anticipatory order.
Anticipatory order, yes.
So we must talk about these things, Dibal. We want a country that is free. We want a country where people can exercise their fundamental rights and freedoms. Because when you try to suppress people so much, you even create the situation can spiral out of hand. This is with Gen Z, okay? Tomorrow, I mean, after today, if you go so hard after Gen Z generation, the millennials, are we millennials? So yes, what? I don't know where we belong.
No, you're not millennials. I think your generation, the baby boomers.
Will also join in the streets. It will spiral. It will be out. It will get out of hand. And it's like when you look at the anointed king, the president is behaving like Saul. It's like the spirit has departed from him. He seems lost. He doesn't seem to discern the issues at hand and come out and respond to those issues one by one. If I was the president by now, you wake up in the morning and you see opulence. A cabinet minister walks with a flag, with two Prados, one ahead, another one behind, the minister is in between. Why that opulence?
What is he scared of?
Well, in a country,
I suspect that the State House will make a statement today.
Yeah, we need
the
something.
President will come to the fore and, of course,
we need the president to step. I've told you,
a national address,
even on issues, the council shall exercise supervisory control over national security organs. Okay, if we see anything happening that is harmful to our youths, we want the chairman of the National Security Council under Article 240 to tell us which police organ has killed a youth or maimed a youth. Because he's the one who has supervisory control.
Abducted a youth.
Yes. The council shall exercise supervisory control. What is supervision? In your simple English. What is to supervise? It means you are the one overlooking on how these organs are conducting themselves.
And in other words, the president is the one who is personally liable
it says,
for the abductions, nobody else.
It says he is the chairman. The council shall consist the president, deputy president, cabinet secretary for defense, secretary for foreign affairs, internal security, attorney general. They are all there. They all sit in that national council. So we are watching today. These are the guys who supervise. They have supervisory control on our security forces. So, Dibal, if there is a person we are demanding to ensure that nobody is killed today, it is the president and the Security Council. Okay? Even the guy who has been given powers of commanding the police force under Article 245, who is the IG, he is still answerable to the National Security Council. And we have even gone international. We have put on the table the Code of Conduct on Law Enforcement Officers, Article 5, and passed in 1979 by the UN State Assembly.
And adopted by Kenya as a law.
And adopted by Kenya, okay? And it obligates the law enforcement officers not to use unreasonable force against people who are picketing, people who are demonstrating. And we don't live in an island. We have been watching all over the world how the police deal with demonstrators. Israel, I've told you about Britain, I've told you about France, everywhere. It's happening. Even in the US, it's happening. But all we see are uniformed police officers with a commander maintaining law and order as the people who are picketing do their thing. And I've told you, if you read Today is good we read our constitution. I want you to listen. National security organs. The constitution says in 239(3), in performing their functions and exercising their powers, okay? The national security organs and every member of a national security organ shall not, 1, act in a partisan manner, 2, further any interest of a political party or cause. So nobody from the security organ today should be furthering the interest of UDA or the interest of Azimio. Okay? 3, they are not supposed to prejudice. That's not me speaking. It's the Constitution of Kenya speaking. They are not supposed to prejudice a political interest or a political cause. The Gen Z have a cause. The cause is they are rising up against high taxation. A political cause that is legitimate under this constitution. The legitimate cause is the powers given to the people of Kenya under Article 37. That's what the constitution in Article 239 is telling our national security organs. And the national security organs are who? Kenya Defense Forces, you can read 239(1), the National Intelligence Service, National Police Service, all the 3. So whether you deploy the armed forces, whether you deploy NSIs, whether you deploy the National Police, the Constitution is directing them on how to conduct themselves. Don't prejudice any cause that is legitimate under this Constitution. That's what the Constitution is telling our national security organs, the 3 of them. Maintain peace and order, and allow the Gen Z generation to do their thing as guaranteed by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya.
Lastly, even as we are just about to bring it to a close, I was asking the question of IBC. Since now also you have the resumption of the Senate today, this you are done and dusted. It is in the National Assembly.
Done dusted from our end.
Can you raise also the issue of why it has stalled at some point in the National Assembly? Or since now it's done and dusted from your end, you cannot make any comments about it?
You know, it's
an issue of national importance.
This is a bicameral house. The moment you are done and you transmit the bill to the other house.
That's what I'm asking. Yes. Even if it's a bicameral house, then the fact that it's a bicameral house, it was in your hands before, right? What stopped you from asking why has it stalled in the National Assembly?
I think the best approach, Val, is to ask our progressive members of parliament, and I think Azimio is very progressive, to raise the issue on the floor. I don't know. I don't know whether. I think the communication must have been read by now by the Speaker of National Assembly. Maybe he referred the matter to the relevant committee. Then they file a report before the House. I'm sure there is, in standing orders, that procedure must be followed. There must be progress being made. Kenyans should not fear that because the recall.
That's what I'm asking. If now the IBC will be the hurdle on the way, what can Kenyans do? Because you can't just wait for the National Assembly.
I think. Let me just interject. You know, I'm very sure by the time recall will be ripe, there will be a new IBC, because the IBC is a matter of priority right now. And we must get it right. You know, if you get a wrong IBC, then the country goes more wrong. And Generation Z even goes worse. So, bearing in mind that the recalls will begin from August, which is just a month away anyway, I am very sure by December we'll have a new IBC. Therefore, the preparation for recall in September, November, there will be an IBC to address them. In December or so. IBC is a first priority now. Other than the finance bill, the next biggest thing in the National Assembly is formation of IBC. And it is a matter every single Kenyan is watching, including Generation Z, because these are the people who take care of your vote. So we have to make sure that we have the right people in place and with the full balance of the country, so that everybody is able to trust the new IBC. If you are in a hurry and you form the IBC wrongly, or it is formed by the executive, then as a country you are in more trouble. than we are with the finance bill. So IBC is very, very important. And all Kenyans should be very alert while Parliament will be going through this to form. In fact, after the finance bill is withdrawn, because that's the only choice President Ruto has with his leader of majority, Kimani Ichung'wah. They can only withdraw this finance bill and take it back to the people and work with the people, but not the sort of dictatorship we are seeing now. You know, the leader of majority in the National Assembly is being dictatorial, and at the same time, they are holding the president hostage. You see, the president has been held hostage by a few young people. I don't know the right word in English, lakini kuna kiburi. You know, kuna watu wako na kiburi kwa hii serikali. There are people who are high-handed. They think everybody else doesn't count, and they are the only ones who matter. And they think even they are more superior than their constituents who put them there. And that's why Generation Z has said no. Whether they are abductions, or arrests, or prosecutions, or killings, Kenyans will have to follow the Constitution and to do the right thing. And everybody is accountable, including the president, the IG, the police, the ones who have shot. And in fact, this is not the only death. We had previous deaths during the previous demonstrations. And I think it's a high time the IG was held accountable by the country, and the president were held accountable. And in fact, from the Constitution, the responsibility, the political responsibility, rests with the president.
Right. Okongo Morgan, as we wind up, I saw ODM will be recalling some of MPs who have voted yes. Is that on the table?
Well, I can't speak for ODM, but...
no, aren't you privy to that?
You know, I don't know how ODM can recall. You know, the power to recall is with
the people.
With the people.
That's what I'm asking. I saw it and I wondered, okay, what does it...
It's only the people. That power in Article 104 is with the people.
Or maybe for disciplinary action again.
Maybe, you know what happens in many democracies is that if you don't toe the party line, the party can take action. It can withdraw. If you're following elections in the UK, there are a number of candidates where you find the Labour Party tells you, we have withdrawn our ticket from you. So they leave you on your own. You don't get a ticket.
That's what I'm asking. Maybe that could be the recall you were talking about.
Yeah, or you de-whip them from committees. That's power that is given to political...
But that is just a slap on the wrist at the end of the day. It doesn't make any discernible
But the power
difference.
to recall is with the people. As I told you when we began this show debate, that there are two people you should fear in this country. The first one is the sovereignty of the people. They are sovereign. They are above everything. They are above everything. They are the sovereign. They give you power to be president, power to be senator, power to be governor, power to be MP, and then they retain the power to recall you. That's how this constitution is crafted. They are the sovereign people. They are more sovereign than ODM as a party. If they decide to recall Senator Mogeni, the party cannot stand on their way.
All right.
The guys have the power.
Thank you.
If they decide to go for Nyamira women rep,
thank you.
The only thing that can stop it is if the people themselves, in a vote, censor that recall motion.
Thank you.
But I think, Dbal, my parting shot, I don't think as a country, speaking from deep bottom of my heart, we should even do any business till the people who have been abducted are released. I mean, that should be the bare minimum. If you are a senior counsel, you are an editor, you are a lawyer, you are a member of parliament, I think this is the time to say,
thank you.
First thing first, abducted people should regain their freedom.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. Dan Mazo, your closing remarks?
I want to say that although the church has come very late, first of all, I want to thank the church for accommodating Generation Z across the country. And also want to thank the church for coming together and say withdraw the finance bill. I am now urging the church to also be in the forefront of say release all those who have been abducted and also say that further to that, you know, those who have been arrested then, free them too, so that we could have a free country. Freedom of expression should take precedence. I really want to urge the president, because he's in charge of security of the country, to make sure that the ones who have been abducted are free.
Right. There we have it. And of course, thank you, gentlemen, for the conversation we've had. Two of you, thank you very much. Of course, we had also Owen Bayer, who was to be here, and also Danson Mungatana, but they were called up and early to be in State House today. And we shall be continuing with the coverage just to give you a feel and flavor of what is happening on the ground. Our reporters are all dotted in different parts of the country as well to just give you a general feel of what is happening, this nationwide protest that is ongoing today. And we'll hand over now to News Diary to just update you as well on what is ongoing. But this also is a call that we have that we should free this young man, free Franje, free Osama Otero, free Shad Khalifa, free Gabriel Oguda, and saying abductions won't stop us. We continue our pace. Hashtag reject Finance Bill 2024, total shutdown KE. Those are the hashtag that is being used. Thank you very much for your valued company. His dad is up next.